On today's episode of The Unwritten Rule, got a good show for you guys. We are going to finally talk about the Memorial Stadium renovations. I know that technically happened when we were recording Thursday for Friday's show, but we had a packed show Friday, had the interview with Karen, so we saved it for Monday's show. So we're gonna talk about that. That'll lead the show, dive into everything, our thoughts on it. We've had a little more time to think about it and digest what we saw, and it's exciting stuff. So we'll talk about that. And then we have a bunch more news. We got men's basketball. We're to talk about the Mark Mitchell transfer. Huge addition for Mizzou men's basketball, bringing in Mark Mitchell from Duke. We'll talk about him and Jordan Butler. He left. He found a new destination. So we'll touch on that too. And then some brief football news. We had a commitment, a 3-star Jason Dowell. He committed. So we'll talk about that. And then a couple of more things with that. We'll do a quick NFL draft preview as well, because that starts Thursday. So we'll have, hopefully we'll have one or maybe two guys drafted by the next time we talk, but we'll see there. We'll do a quick NFL draft preview, and then we have quick hits, Ken Sports Shorts, Dirty Birds, and our fraud rankings. And of course the ratio of the week from good old Twitter. So yeah, plenty to dive into before we start this show. Quick word from the sponsor, Bet Online. It is your number one source for all your summer sports this season. MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoffs. All the latest stats, news, and scores are available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds, lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds in just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Fellas, we did some NBA playoff picks. We're going to do some more NBA playoff picks. Getting very boring this week for our Bet Online, just because it is NBA playoffs. We all like watching. Peyton's team unfortunately did not make it. Kenny Rockets had a good year, by the way. Didn't make the playoffs, but they're on the up and up. Yeah, they did, Peyton, for their standards. They had a good year.
Well, almost made it. Year. Almost. Yeah. We're gonna banner for that.
Yeah, raise it. I'll have a banner note for Mizzou later when we start the show. But what did we do, Kenny? What were the last playoff bets, and how did we do before we do these ones? Run us through.
Yeah, one thing is that if Peyton believes in his team, we would have swept. So Peyton or Jack, you took Heat +5 against 76ers. The Heat covered that spread. I took Lakers +1, and Peyton took Hawks +3.5, and the Bulls ended up winning that game by a lot more than 5 points. So that's where we kind of stand with that one. Records right now: 36-22 for Jack, 31-27 for myself. And Peyton, you were 32-27. Once the Royals win the World Series, we will be even.
Oh my God!
Yep. I mean, we'll have to retire that one and start a Best Beats 2.0. And
that's true.
We're going to have to declare.
Don't forget, you guys are going to owe me a lot of money if the Royals win the World Series.
We'll see if that gets paid off.
Didn't I say 1,000 and you matched? Isn't that the deal?
I'd rather owe Kenny 1,000 than cheat him out of it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. This week, I did see, speaking of the Heat, sorry to Jimmy Butler that he got hurt. We don't root for injuries. None of us picked this bet, but from Bet Online, I think they were 15-point underdogs to the Celtics, which I don't even know how much Jimmy Butler would have changed that, because the Celtics are really good, but man, I don't envy you if you're a Heat fan having to watch those games. Anyway, I'm going to the Western Conference for my bet, picking a little bit closer for spread, and in fact, I'm taking the underdog here. I'm going to the Clippers Mavericks series. I'm taking the Clip Show +3. I did my whole NBA bracket. I picked the Clippers to go to the NBA Finals. I like the Clippers. I want if the Bucks can't win the championship, I'd love a title for Kobe Brown. So give me them +3 to cover against the Mavs. I do love Luka Doncic and the Mavericks, but I'll take the Clippers in this one.
I just realized I'm actually wearing a Rockets hoodie right now too. If you're watching on the YouTube,
I have a Bucks hoodie on.
There we go. NBA. I haven't even watched a game this season.
Columbia hoodie on.
The Bucks won today. We'll have that in later, but
yep.
Sticking in NBA, 76ers taking on the Knicks, game 2 of this series. I'm taking Knicks -5. The vibes, electric in New York. We got Bing Bong thrown all over the place. We have mosh pits outside the Garden.
They were chanting, awesome. We want Boston after one game.
Yeah, that Knicks fans are psychotic. They love basketball. They love playoff basketball. Joel Embiid will continue to play. There was some worries about the knee injury, but he's going to play through it. And
he's not playing Jokic, so
yeah, not playing Jokic. If they're playing Denver, maybe he'd sit out.
Duck him.
But I got Knicks -5 in this one. The Knicks are hot. They're still chanting like they hate Trae Young. like even like 2 or 3 years later now. And I thought that was pretty
I
funny.
kind of support it.
Oh,
I'm
no, I
about
guess-
it.
So 2021, I think, was the year that
Yeah,
they
it
played.
was.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Okay,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I got Knicks -5.
I will also be sticking with the NBA. I'm going big on this one. Big upset pick. I'm taking the Lakers versus Nuggets series. I'm taking the Nuggets, who are only -700 favorites to win this series. I'm going to take them to win the series here. It's a big one, I know, but sometimes the pot needs a sweetener. So
I hope our friend Alex Mose replies to this tweet when this one hits, because I took a soccer game where Bayer Leverkusen was favored by like -500, and he said, like, oh, Kenny's taking a victory lap for winning that one. I hope he replies to you for this one.
hey, smart money make money.
Yeah,
Free
I
money.
mean, it is free money. We have this in fraud rankings too later, but the Lakers, their stars played almost as well as they could, and they still had like no chance in game one of this. So I don't blame you, Peyton. Nuggets are a very good team. Nice. All right. Yeah. Hey, Mizzou fans, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got Kobe Brown, plenty of former
Ooh.
Tigers to watch in the NBA.
Might be a
playoffs.
little
NBA playoffs.
insensitive to bet on a Porter right now.
I have that later. I have something on that later too in Dirty Birds. This is a good tease for quick hits in this betting segment. But you do have Michael Porter Jr. and Kobe Brown, so you can watch those former Tigers in the West. But the NBA playoffs are great, so thank you to BetOnline for those odds. Let's dive into the show, boys. We'll get started. The Unwritten Rule starts right now.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Peyton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Monday, April 22nd, and Mizzou football has a new stadium. Not entirely new stadium. They're just renovating the current one. No, this is news that's already happened. Most Mizzou fans have probably already seen this, but like I said in the intro, we wanted to wait to talk about it to give it a little more time because we had a big show Friday, so we pushed this one off till Monday. So Faurot Field, Memorial Stadium, is getting a $250 million makeover. They're going to do a bunch of stuff on the north end zone and redo all of that, make it look really cool. We had all the renderings finally come out. Everyone can now distinguish between the AI fakes that poor Gabe DeArmond had to tweet consistently that saying they were fakes because everyone believed that somehow we'd have a giant rock M. We don't have a giant rock M, as much as I wish that would have been a priority. I think seeing the Rock M from space would have really given Mizzou a lot of uniqueness. That said, I think the concourse they designed and the stuff that's coming our way is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, $250 million. Target date is set to be done October of 2026. Kenny, I know, is skeptical on that, so I'll let him talk about that. He has some takes on the length of construction projects, but boys, I'm pretty impressed. I'm excited to take a trip to Memorial Stadium when this is all done. It looks pretty. It looks modern. It looks updated. The north end zone was cool. I mean, the hill is great, but I think this new concourse is really getting a modern touch to the aesthetic that is Memorial Stadium. I hope I sounded like an HGTV host when I said that. What do you boys think of the new renovations? I'm pretty excited.
I think they look absolutely incredible. Like, I cannot overstate. Like, there were those fakes that were out that looked pretty good that I think everyone would have been happy with. I think these actual ones that they have planned blow it completely out of the water. I mean, this looks like this looks like it belongs in the SEC. I mean, Faurot has a nice place in my heart, but let's be honest, it's a very obvious Big 12 stadium that's trapped in the SEC. The outside looks amazing. I cannot say enough how much I like this. I don't know the exact seating amount of seats it adds over there, but it blew my mind that this was actually something that Mizzou is going to get done. I think it made national news. I mean, there was AP stories on this. It was a big deal. So very, very cool to see that Mizzou is getting a renovation like this done. I think it's all world for recruiting even, I would say. I mean, it obviously helps. I mean, Mizzou's football program just really seems to be on the rise. I mean, if Mizzou is able to make the postseason this year, I mean, like the playoffs, we could be talking about like a serious like awakening of like a juggernaut maybe.
Overwhelmingly like positive reviews too. I think that's something that was a big takeaway for me. And I don't know if that's because I follow a lot of younger Mizzou fans or just people closer to our age in our graduation year, but it seemed like a lot of people were just excited about this. You know, sometimes you don't want to change history, and it's good they're preserving the Block M and most of the hill. As you see in the photo, if you're watching on the YouTube, still a lot of grass there. And that's one of the big things about college football is, I mean, there's grass seating. It's like, you know, like some, you know, baseball fields still have that in the outfield, and, you know, it's kind of dying because you want more seats, but in college, it's still really cool that a lot of these teams are keeping it there. The only thing that I, you know, just does bother me, and Jack mentioned it with that October 2026 timeframe, that there's going to be 3 seasons or 2 seasons and a month's worth of games in between that. And I know it takes time to do these kinds of things, and you kind of look like Vanderbilt with half your stadium being renovated at the time. But I've listened to some podcasts recently, and they've been talking about the Oakland A's and the new stadium that they're building in Las Vegas. And maybe that's going to be a little bit different because they have to build a full stadium from scratch. But a lot of times that you get behind on what you're doing. You know, the challenges come up, and hopefully they get it done before then. Maybe on a smaller scale, Mizzou is really good about finishing the renovations to Jesse Hall in 2019 before that homecoming game. And if you guys remember back in 2019, yep. Our first year there was scaffolding all the way up. I even think during the summer when I had my summer orientation, there was scaffolding on Jesse Hall.
Your official visit?
Yeah, my official visit before I enrolled at the University of Missouri. But yeah, I think Mizzou has been good about getting things done on time. You look at the indoor facility. I think it was kind of being worked on a lot during the 2022 season. Finished it up for the 2023 season. Mizzou was pretty quick about that. Hopefully they can do the same with this, and you want it to be done before the homecoming game in 2026.
I love this. I just think I think it even to both y'all's point with the balancing of like, you can see they're keeping the hill, they're letting people sit on the hill, which I think is an important thing. But I think it almost makes the hill look better. Like you got these corner seats, and then you got the grass patch in the middle with the giant Block M. I think it looks cooler than what the hill is like now. And then you have this kind of nice piece of tradition and history and something Mizzou's always had encased in this like super just beautiful, like modern, like Peyton said, SEC caliber looking stadium. I think it's awesome. I think it's going to look fantastic when it's done. I don't know, maybe that'll be a best beat of the week, is the over under on month, day, or year when it's actually finished. But yeah, I mean, I would guess they're going to want to hurry this along and you know, and get it done, because it is marvelous. The renderings are awesome. I'm excited they're here, and it's going to look sick. Also love that they put a highlight from the Mizzou Tennessee game on the Jumbotron. I love when teams do that. I really wish they put a score. I really wish it said, I think it says Mizzou 35. Yeah, but I wish it put like Kansas instead of visitor. Wow. I like when teams do that. I know like when the Bills unveiled their new stadium, I think they did that and put like the Jets or something there. I wish Mizzou did that and put like a Kansas or something. But
Oklahoma baseball did something similar when they were renovating their stadium this offseason, and they put like the 1988 Oakland A's, and like it was like Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco. And I think that stuff is pretty funny too when you just do something so random.
That's probably fun. That's probably just the intern finishing the design being like, what do you want? Do you want anything on here? And just pick some random names. The intern was probably like, I'll just pick my favorite team or something like that, just for fun. Yeah, this looks sick. I mean, I'm glad they could get this done. You know, credit to, I don't know, everyone who donated, I guess, because this is going to look awesome. But yeah, I think like Peyton said, with the rise of this football program, I think this couldn't have come at a better time. And And yeah, we'll just hopefully the play on the field matches the prettiness of this stadium as it gets developed. And yeah, that is unfortunate that I made a lot of Vanderbilt construction site jokes. So I'll probably have to. I can't blame fans if they come to Furrow and they're like, we're playing the construction site this year. It is what it is. We'll get
I got one more thing.
Yeah.
We lived in South Hall, and
Oh,
thing that we always
yes.
loved about South Hall is that you could see it from different vantage points in the stadium. It doesn't look like that'll be something we could see any longer. I mean, what do you guys kind of feel about that?
You know, it's a necessary sacrifice, I guess, but it does eat at the heart a little bit. That was always a nice thing that I was like, oh, I could see my dorm from here. And I was sitting in the student section, but a small sacrifice, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's just going to make me sound like an old head because I was already pretty annoying when I would watch Mizzou games with people who didn't live in South Hall also. And every time they showed that angle, I'd be like, that's my dorm. That's my dorm. Now I'm just going to sound old because when the new stadium goes up, I'll be like, back in my day, you could see my dorm from the other kickoff before they put all this newfangled scaffolding up and it's in the way. So I don't know. I was annoying before. I'll probably just be an annoying older sounding person with it being gone, but it was nice to have the view, and it's going to be in the college football game for 1 year. So it'll be immortalized forever there, right? Like,
correct.
Or I guess maybe in theory, could you, like, if you're a digital animator at EA, could you theoretically put this in here? Like, could you take this image
No
and
idea.
render it?
To be
I feel like
honest,
they could.
Maybe, but I don't see why they would do that when that's not your home stadium this year.
Yeah, it's not yet. That would be kind of sick, though. It's like here's a future glimpse in video game form.
Look at that! It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks
so
good.
Good.
It looks good. We're excited. I hope everyone, young or old fan, is excited about the future of Furrow. It's going to look good. Let's segue. That's probably the biggest news of the week, the most exciting news. We have some basketball stuff to talk about. We had another transfer, so we talked Perkins and Warwick. I believe on the last show. Dennis just continues to cook, and we touched on this. This shouldn't really come as a surprise, but it should be exciting for people. Another transfer coming in, as you see on screen. It's Mark Mitchell from Duke. Again, if you missed that news, this is from a couple days ago, but touching on it now. The forward comes in from Duke, 11.6 points per game, about 6 rebounds. I think I read his stats on the last show as well. Awesome addition, I think, for Mizzou men's basketball. Boys, how are you guys feeling about Mr. Mitchell, a Blue Devil coming to Columbia? I mean, I know, like, I don't think any of us are necessarily Duke fans, but it is like, you know, the name, the likeness of Duke puts a little more aura for me on Mark Mitchell, aside from the fact that he's also just a really good player.
Yeah, I mean, he was a 5-star out of high school. So, I mean, this is pretty big deal. This was the one that I really was hoping Mizzou would win out, and they did. I don't like he shoots at an insane clip around the rim. We've talked about him a million times at this point since he's entered the portal. Pretty much not everything Mizzou needed, but a good portion of it. He can come in and just play the 4. Yes, he doesn't have much, he doesn't have much range. I wouldn't expect that to really get fixed overnight either, like it did with Kobe Brown. He doesn't need it really, though. I mean, he just needs to come in, grab boards, be like a very good defensive presence. He gives you a lot of what you didn't have last year. He's going to be great around the rim. He's going to be a good defensive presence at the front court for you. Just all world portal really for Dennis Gates. He's hit on most of his top targets, which was something he did not do last year for the most part. And we're seeing guys like Mark Mitchell come in, not Jesus Carolero. They got Tony Perkins, not Kurt Lewis. Like, they're getting high major transfers in, and that is such a big step forward. Guys that have proven they can play at this level. It's exactly what Mizzou needed, and it's exactly what Dennis Gates and co got.
To me, Peyton, it's not just guys that played at high major level, played at Power 4, Power 5 level. It's guys that started at the Power 5 level. Like, this is such a big turnaround from last season, even in Dennis's first year when he had a great portal haul of guys that we didn't really know much about. Now you're getting guys that started at the Power 5 level, had success at the Power 5 level, just wanted an opportunity elsewhere. And Mark Mitchell does have, some relations with Tamar Bates. Tamar Bates was pretty excited. He posted something in a story. They're both from the Kansas City area. As you see on the screen, he's from the Kansas side. But this guy, Mark's getting closer to home here. And overall, it's just like Dennis is like that one meme of the football player who says, "I got my swagger back." And I think that's just kind of where Dennis is going right now. And who's to say he's done?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that he necessarily is done, and we can touch on that. But yeah, I like Mark Mitchell. He was Duke's second leading rebounder, and that was in a team with Kyle Filipowski, who was their primary big, and he's going to be a lottery pick in the NBA. So I would expect those rebounding numbers and his work on the glass to probably go up at Mizzou, just because he'll have to do a little bit more work because he won't have a Filipowski joining him in the front court. When you watch the highlights, maybe just skip over when he shoots jumpers, like Peyton said. He doesn't need to, but it is kind of funny. His release is something else. I think there was he had a game against Notre Dame where I think he tripled his total of threes when he made 2 in one game. So he's not a shooter, but doesn't need to be a shooter. And yeah, I think he's a good finisher. He plays well in transition. He's one of those forwards who can run. You kind of need to be now in the modern game, but he's good. The other thing that this triggered Kenny and Peyton was a metrics guy tweeted out that Mizzou, I guess, is number 1 in the country in overall portal activity. I know we did a tweet, hang the banner, put the banner up. We didn't make we 0-18 to the number 1 portal team in the country. I think that's worthwhile for a banner. Yeah, there's the banner. Overall transfer portal activity, Mizzou Tigers. So yeah, Dennis is cooking. And I don't necessarily think he's done. I don't know if you guys want to throw out any names or target areas, where Dennis goes. Me and Peyton have talked off air about one that I think would be fun. I don't know, Peyton, you want to, should we share? This isn't like it's not a, we don't have any intel. This is just a fun, guy who would maybe fit.
I would think they would go after one more guy, and it would presumably be a big man, just because they don't have a straight up proven big, especially after Jordan Butler, who we talked about, who we will mention rather. He dipped out, so they don't have a true proven 5. I would think that would probably be a priority for Dennis Gates now. I think he probably still does want to add one. That's probably all I can see them adding at this point. Knowlton and I discussed Nick Pringle. Knowlton knows Nick Pringle well. I was basing that off nothing but the fact that he was in the portal. Knowlton can explain the big man or Pringle as a fit more than me.
Yeah, I like starting this. I like starting this Nick Pringle thing to Mizzou. So I won't talk ad nauseum because, again, this is kind of just speculating. And I think Peyton's right, because I think for as good as Mitchell is and as dynamic of a forward, I think, as he can be on both ends, I think if you pair him with a rim protector, that's how you probably get the best out of him. And yes, I'm excited by Peyton Marshall. I'm curious to see what he can do as a freshman. But with Jordan Butler gone, and we'll touch on that in a second, I think you probably look to add a veteran. Nick Pringle's a guy. He played 2 seasons at Alabama, JUCO, went to Wofford. Very good teammate. He's a good kind of connecting big. He can rim protect. He did it in the SEC for 2 seasons. He is going to want to start wherever he goes. That's why he's in the portal, and he would have that starting center spot if he went to Mizzou. So I don't hate the fit. I think it's a good one in theory. Again, I have no idea if they're actually pursuing Nick Pringle, but I can attest from firsthand accounts he would be a solid addition, I think, when paired with Mitchell in the front court. But yeah, we'll see. And you got to stay number 1 on the overall transfer portal activity tracker, so you got to get somebody. You can't let Indiana or what is it, UCLA I see in there, can't get caught. You got to stay number 1. So we'll see. But I would love Nick Pringle to come to Mizzou. He's also a good character. He would give you some fun locker room quotes as well. But we mentioned Jordan Butler again, kind of stressing the need for a big to come in the portal. He is gone. He entered the portal. I think we'd already reported that. Maybe not. I don't remember if we talked about that. We didn't. All right, never mind. He entered the portal, and he's already found a new home. He's going to South Carolina, which you guys give your thoughts if you want. I really like this for Jordan Butler. I think. I mean, I'm a Lamont Paris fan, South Carolina's coach. I think this is a good fit for him. He's staying in the SEC, just a chance to kind of develop more. You know, he's got to put on the pounds, but there were some flashes, so I'm happy for him. I'm glad he stayed at a power school.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised it was him that wound up transferring, but I guess it makes sense out of all the freshmen. Realistically, I think it is a good spot for him. It's his home state. I don't know how much he'll have to play at South Carolina right away because he is someone that could probably use a bit more time developing. Just kind of didn't click here. He made a few strides, particularly defensively, I thought. As the season went on at Mizzou, I don't think Dennis could afford to really roll the dice and have him be the starting big on opening night, though.
His mom went to South Carolina too. She played there, so there's a lot of connections going back to his home state. I was a little bit surprised too. Out of all the guys, even I think Ant posted like a hourglass emoji this weekend, and I don't know. Everyone's cryptic. A lot of athletes are cryptic about what they were doing, and I don't know if that's about something else, but that's my dogs have an opinion about that as well. Yeah, I was kind of looking forward maybe to see Jordan Butler in his second year, but maybe we'll see him in Columbia with a different team or in a different Columbia.
Yeah, playing for a trophy. I don't know. Best of luck. I hope he does well. I agree with Peyton. I thought he made some good strides defensively, and again, kind of from a Mizzou standpoint, more emphasizes the need to get a quality big and a veteran big probably to sort of complete this overall very good offseason haul for the Tigers. We'll see how that goes. There's not a large plethora of bigs in the portal, so it'll be interesting. Let's segue. We got some football news. Bit of a bigger quick hit here on the football front. Things have been relatively quiet, but Mizzou did get another commit. Jason Dowell, he's a 3-star. I believe he's rated as a 3-star by On3 and 24/7 and a 4-star by Rivals, if I did my reading right. But a 2025 defensive lineman. He committed to Mizzou. So picked them, it appears, over some Big Ten teams. You got Indiana, Iowa, and Illinois in there. So another couple other high majors getting him. You guys have any thoughts on Mr. Dowell adding to the 2025 fall? Oh, I think the biggest news of this also is Drinkwitz has the new bat signal for the 2025 class, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't use it for Zollers. I mean, we expect, I'm sure, a lot more to come. Dante McClellan, who could be a Mizzou commit, he commits tomorrow. They're just going to have to keep stacking guys. It's nice to see them get off to a little bit of a faster start than last year. Last year's class obviously still wound up being a very, very good one. This has the potential to top all that if they can keep the momentum rolling.
I got to be honest, it kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't know who Jason Dowell was, and I feel pretty plugged in just reading what Gabe and the rest of his staff at Rivals will post about just on Twitter. I don't really check the website as much. I didn't really know much about him coming into it, but I will give Jack his props. Your company, Rivals.com, the only one to have him as a 4-star.
Yeah.
So we applaud you, Jack.
Yeah, I definitely am the one who decides that. If you're a recruit, hit me up. Good for Jason Dowell. I think so. Like you said, it's the 2 recruits now, so they have him and Zoller. So I agree. I think you kind of got to get plugging away, like you said. Heading into the summer months, we kind of know how this all works for Mizzou. There's that big OV weekend that they usually do, and that usually really starts picking up from there. But I think, like Peyton said, getting the 2 early, especially Zollers, because there has been quite the buzz on him. I think that's going to prove to be an even bigger pickup as his senior season goes, and as we get closer to those 25 kids then embedding into the team. I think that was a huge pickup. But yeah, Jason Dowell, 3-star out of where the hell is he from? I didn't see. Oh, Belleville, Illinois. There you go. Recruiting the
I
great
believe
state
that's
of
right
Illinois.
across the river from St. Louis.
Yeah, so a typical recruiting area for Drinkwitz and Co. But he comes in a Missouri Tiger, their second recruit in the 2025 class. Other news, quick. This one's way more of a downer because Austin Firestone, he is decided to retire from football. He has this message. You can read it on Twitter. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but didn't seem, if I'm interpreting it right, like it was for injury reasons, just for kind of personal reasons, wanting to just move on and just do something different. Which more power to him. I remember he got. You guys have to correct me on the game. I remember he got a sack, I want to say, and I think it was in the middle. I want to say it was in the Memphis game. Was the Vanderbilt game? Vandy game, because I remember putting in the video the like whatever you drive a Firestone from the commercials. So that's my favorite memory of Austin Firestone. But yeah, I mean, best of luck to him on whatever ventures he gets up to. I don't know if you guys have any Firestone thoughts.
I was a little surprised. I mean, we talk about it a lot. Mizzou just kind of does the rotational approach at the DN spot. He was a guy that could kind of come in certain situations. I mean, the sack he had against Vanderbilt was kind of a good one. It ended at drive. So a bit surprised. The depth takes a little bit of a hit there, but is what it is. Wish him the best. Clearly, he put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, he moved within Power 5 conferences after his Power 5 programs from his freshman year to his sophomore year. I guess it was still like his redshirt season in 2023. We coming over from Northwestern. He was pretty quick. Went on a visit. I talked to him, and then a couple hours later, he made it public that he was going to Mizzou and he was transferring to the Tigers. He looked like reliable depth last season. Only played in that Vanderbilt Memphis game, the games that he recorded stats. But I was kind of thinking about it the other night once I saw that Austin Firestone announced his retirement. I was wondering if Serenier Tunkara would come back. I mean, if Austin Firestone wasn't on the depth chart anymore, I thought maybe there was an opportunity for him to be on the depth chart, be the second or third guy coming off the edge. But he's officially, going into the portal, and pretty cool to see what Brian Early did as well, posting about it, saying, coaches, hit me up if you need anything on this kid. And he wasn't even the guy who recruited him. And he's trying to help him find the next opportunity any way he can.
Yeah, that was nice.
He actually probably did recruit him. I'm thinking about it more. He might have recruited him at Houston.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, hit him up. Yeah, so, we wish both of them the best. Austin Firestone, one of the better names on the Mizzou roster. I don't know if it beats Brayshawn Littlejohn, but it's up there. Firestone is an elite last name. But yeah, best of luck to whatever is in the cards for him. Peyton, I'm going to put you on the spot for our last thing, because we have the NFL draft starting Thursday. It's just the first round Thursday night, which we'll record. And then, so, whoever's maybe drafted and probably not drafted, we'll talk about a little bit more in depth. But you're a fairly big draft guy, Peyton. Where does everything stand for Chris Abrams, Drain Ennis, and Darius Robinson in particular headed into draft night?
I mean, Ennis and Darius are definitely the top two that have the best chance of going first round. I think their testing probably does knock them down a bit, just because neither of their 40s were very good for their size. I think it kind of killed the hope of maybe having Robinson play be a true 3-down edge rusher. So they're probably all day two guys. We'll see where they wind up. Obviously, I would expect those two. Chris Abrams Drain is probably a day two guy. Rest of the guys, a lot of them could go early day three, maybe late day two, like Javon Foster. Cody Schrader's probably a day three pick. I think he's actually did solidify him being drafted with his testing. Carly's, he might get a little buzz as a linebacker, is what it seems like. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Kenny, you have any draft thoughts?
No, I actually just pulled up this article, though, on Yahoo Sports I thought was interesting. And I think it's from an outlet in Kansas City. Peyton, if I'm not mistaken, that 4 is Fox News. Fox. Yeah, Fox 4 in Kansas City. Thank you, fellow Kansas Cityan, or our only Kansas Cityan. But yes, whoever wrote this, PJ Green, putting Ennis Rakestraw on the radar for the Chiefs.
Okay. Oh, that would be fun. I do kind of like it. That's where I want Cody Schrader to end up. I feel like he'd be so fun on the Chiefs. Him and Nick Bolton just load up the Chiefs with Mizzou players and get them all Super Bowls. That'd be fun and keep them in state. Yeah, we'll see. So we'll have some draft stuff. Like we'll talk Thursday, and maybe hopefully one or two of those guys, if D-Rob and Ennis maybe sneak into the first round, they'll have been drafted. But otherwise, we'll do like more of a preview, talk about the draft in general, and just where some of those guys might end up. So you have a lot to watch for on draft night if you are a Mizzou fan. And yeah, that'll do it for the Mizzou segment here, boys. Any other final thoughts? Any other final stadium thoughts? We're reflecting. No more South Hall.
Great.
It looks good. It looks good.
What was
I'm very excited.
Is it Brooks? Is that the taller one?
Behind it? No,
Yeah.
like in front of it.
Buford or Bluford.
Yeah,
Brooks.
those are the
I
new.
wonder
ones.
if one of those can still see in from the top floor.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think it's Bluford that's closer. I don't
No,
know. You should
that's
know this.
Bluford's, yeah, Bluford's more north. Brooke, I believe Brooke.
One of them.
I think the other one's called Brooks, though.
Yeah, the other one is called Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks is closer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
I didn't
right.
know. For sure.
I think. The other thing I wonder. I couldn't tell if in that rendering if it was just the outline or if it was they did this on purpose. I wouldn't mind a light around the rocks on the Rock M. That's what it kind of looked like it was in the photo.
It did kind of look like that. It would be. Cool.
I think that would look kind of cool at night from like a over the top view. So that's my one recommendation if they're adding that. But anyway, yeah, good Mizzou segment, boys. Let's round out the show with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. As you can see on the screen, we have another Ken Sports Shorts quiz. Look at him grinning. Look at him smiling. Kenny, what's a Ken Sports Shorts?
This is one of the last Mizzou Sporkles available that's not from 2013 or
This
earlier.
has 0 ratings.
Yeah, there's
No one has
108
ever played
questions.
this.
Total plays.
108 questions. We're not going to do all 108. It's the 2023 Mizzou football roster quiz and trying to see if you can name every single player. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make you do all the special teamers, which includes 4 kickers, 1 punter, and 3 long snappers. And you have 15 minutes to do it.
Oh, geez.
Tell me when you're ready.
Well, I wish it did it one by one that said like who played quarterback for the Missouri Tigers, who played running back for the Missouri, like, and you had to like do it one by one.
All right,
so we're just
going.
doing the special
Craig.
teams? Yeah.
Bang.
Why are you stealing my guy, Harrison Means?
Austin. Fuck. Sorry. I almost said Austin Firestone and then I said a Kersey. So my bad.
I don't get why. Where's our? I think we're just still in our radio heads that we can't
Luke
swear.
Bauer.
Oh, yeah, Luke Bauer.
Why do they only have 1 punter listed?
Luke Bauer
Riley
was
Williams?
a kicker.
Oh.
Who's the long snapper?
Hawthorne. Daniel Hawthorne.
Nope.
Tyler
I'm
Stevens?
just thinking of names that Kenny. Oh, Brett
How
LeBlanc.
many do we have left?
Starter. Brett LeBlanc
Oh,
was the starter.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
3 long snappers on this godforsaken team.
2 of them were 5 stars, and you got 1 of them.
I will not get either of the other 2, and I probably won't get
The other one
last.
was a transfer.
We have 4 kickers. Why do we have a transfer long snapper?
They split time, if you remember. One of them did field goals, and the other one did punts.
I don't remember.
God, why? This is
LeBlanc
a
took
stupid
over full
unit,
time.
and it has the
Can
worst.
you give us like a hint? What's their initials?
JF and TF. No, wait.
How are you thinking about this?
JK and TF for the long snappers.
TF and JK. That does not ring any bells.
Jake Kratz.
Jake Kotz. Yep.
Nice.
Jack Kotz. There it is. Okay, dude.
Are we
I have
missing a kicker?
Mhm.
There's one
You
other.
know
kicker.
it too.
No chance at these.
I do.
He has a nickname about like based off of a body part that really pertains to what
Craig
he
DeLeg.
uses.
I said Craig DeLeg already.
It's he has a very similar one. His initials are an NQ.
Oh, Nick Quadrini.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Quad. Yeah, the quad. That's all right. Craig's got that starting spot locked down.
Oh, Trey Flynn.
You looked it up.
No, I didn't. No, my hands are right here.
All right.
Now they are. Wait, can we do the other ones? No, I don't want to.
No, we're not. I honestly thought about it. I feel like people would be really upset. It's a good team.
Look at some of these names.
Like Nate Norris, dude. Like, please. Tommy
Peyton, we're
Reese.
also dumb. We're like putting our heads close to the camera. You can full screen the thing, so you don't have.
No,
to...
it's easier to do this.
I have never heard of Jack McGarry in my life.
Like Sam Williams. Like, come on.
You have to remember Sam Williams.
Was he the guy that flipped from Wake Forest?
Yeah.
Okay, then I do.
Tommy Reese.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? I didn't know about that until I saw like when they started doing the football cards.
He was Alabama's
Ricardo
OC.
Meriwether. Like, I don't know who that is, man. I'm sorry. I found out Nasir Pogue was on the team midway through last year. I remember
Mitchell
that.
Walters.
Hibbler. Who doesn't remember?
Nick DeLoach.
Brian Horskin.
He was in the 2023 class.
Yeah, I knew
Will
him.
Norris. NC State.
All right.
Very
Good job,
good.
guys.
Go us.
Very good.
Tommy Locke. Nice. All right, Dirty Birds. What is it? Peyton, Kenny, Dirty Bird.
My Dirty Bird of the week goes to Cardinals fans, best fans in baseball. And this tweet comes from Jeff Jones on X. The Cardinals are swept at home by the Brewers in their first series against an NL Central opponent. They've lost 4 in a row, and the defending NL champions are in town tomorrow. It's April 21st, and they were booed off the field. I'm an idiot. A poll went around at work, and I chose the Cardinals to win the Central. I get blinded by it every year just because of that 2019 team.
Why?
Yeah, I know. I saw it, and I was like, oh my God.
Even I know that's not good.
There's experience on the team this year. I gave Mo the benefit of the doubt. They brought him back on a contract. They got a contract extension with him. Sorry, not Mo. Line.
What? Mose
I'm
Lock?
not going to be able to help you, pal.
But no, yeah, I think it was. I was just over my head, I guess. I just really thought there was an opportunity this year for the Cardinals, and it's been a very rough start. You know, you can't base, the future of the season right now in April, but it's a pretty rough start for a team that has a lot of experience.
And you're hardly alone in the people that picked the Cardinals. I don't know why people sure, I'm definitely biased. Like, I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm not going to think the Cardinals. I'm going to hope the Cardinals are bad. But their pitching staff last year was absolutely terrible. And they tried to fix that with 3 guys that are like nearing their social security checks. And one of them is good. And the other 2 are Lance Lynn and, oh my God, why am I blanking on this, Kenny? Help me. Lance Lynn and who else?
I like
Miles
this call
Michaelis?
line if we don't remember it.
Okay, yeah. So Kyle Gibson, and that's MIZ. He's terrible. Like, there was no chance this team was going to be good this year because they don't have the staff to do it. They don't have the pitching staff to do it. Not to mention Paul Goldschmidt has just been a disaster since the first game of the year. Yeah, it's looking pretty bleak in St. Louis right now.
I like the first part of that tweet. 14-6. Number 1 into Central.
That won't last.
No, it won't. Is Jackson playing well? That's all.
He had a home run this weekend off Miles Michaelis.
Let's go.
On base percentage is below 300.
Crap.
He's 20 years old.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Your stats are your stats.
What he said. Peyton, what's your dirty bird?
My dirty bird of the week is going to be the Atlanta Hawks.
Their Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're horrible. Dude,
This is a minor league team.
What? Buffalo Bison.
This is a minor league baseball team. AAA for the Blue Jays.
Oh boy.
Kenny is a big minor league baseball fan. If you guys haven't picked up on this by now, but no, the Hawks, man. I've never seen a team play as horrible. I'll admit, I did not watch any NBA this year. I had heard that the Hawks were bad. I didn't know until I watched it. I mean, Kobe White going for 42 points on you. That's his career high.
Kobe White's going to win Most Improved Player this year.
I know, but that's his career high. And he did it in the play-in game.
That is insane.
That is insane.
DeAndre Hunter, I'm looking at that stat. DeAndre Hunter played 42 minutes and scored 8 points.
And he was like a top 6 pick, wasn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't good. He's never been good.
The funniest tweet I saw about this was that people said that I've never seen a team look like they just hate playing each other like the Hawks do. I find that amusing. They're mainly just my Dirty Birds because my bet didn't hit, though.
Yeah, they are really bad. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021, and like everyone kind of knew that they peaked then, and they've just proved everyone right. Like they've just not sniffed anything close to that since, and they didn't have a shot in that conference finals either. It was Trae Young, man.
3 former Rockets on this team.
They did a trade with the Rockets.
I know. Clint Capella, Garrison Matthews, Gary Bird, and Bruno Fernando.
Gary Bird. Did people really call him Gary?
Look at this wacky.
Yeah, he got an
team.
extension after he got that nickname. Quick question, because I don't watch the NBA anymore. Jack, who was number 3 on the Hawks? That he picked number 3 because of Dwayne Wade, and he did a jersey swap.
No, that wasn't Herter. Oh, it's
it was Herter.
Was it Herter? Yeah, it was Herter.
What happened to him?
He's on the Kings, I think now. Yeah, you might have fact checked that, but I think he's on the Kings now. I think he got traded. But yes, he was a big Dwayne Wade fan.
Yeah, because Dwayne Wade didn't do a jersey swap with Trae Young.
Right. Yeah, it was Herter. Yeah, Trae Young's bad. Knicks fans were right all along. I don't know. Good Dirty Bird, Peyton. I'm sticking the NBA with mine. My Dirty Bird, we're going to go over to another bird team in the NBA, the New Orleans Pelicans, specifically Larry Nance Jr., who in the interview, you might see it on YouTube. If you go on to Twitter and find it and play the sound, you can also see the caption that Clutch Points so kindly provided. Shout out to Clutch Points, best thumbnails on the internet. Larry Nance Jr., basically, he was asked like some question about like being confident in the Pelicans' ability to beat the Thunder in the first round. And he said, respectfully, I'm betting on the Pels. Then paused and said, I'm not betting. No Jonte Porter. I'm not betting on anything. I don't own a betting app. None of that. And that got a pretty big laugh from the press conference crowd. I thought that was pretty funny. And I don't know. I mean, I
only lost by 2 tonight in game 1.
They did. No, they looked good. So he is betting on himself. He's not betting. He's betting on himself. But I would like to check if the unders on his props hit. That's all I'm saying. Just see if we can do some matching here. Maybe avoid another situation. So preemptively, for that reason, Larry Nance, you are my Dirty Bird. Or betting on yourself.
Larry Nance Jr. of that one Cavs team where it was LeBron versus 5 fame.
Young Larry Nance Jr.
When Larry Nance Jr. could dunk. I don't know if he can still dunk like he used to. I think if his name was also like not Larry Nance, like if he didn't have the same name as his dad, I don't think people would know him as well either.
If he was John Smith.
Yeah. I do wonder.
I'll defend Larry Nance Jr. He's a fine player.
I didn't even know he was on the Pelicans. I still thought he was a clip. I thought he was still a Cav or a Laker. The one thing I think would be crazy is if Jonte Porter, like super fan, got with all of his friends and started just like betting on random Larry Nance Jr. props to get people to start looking at him. Like I think there might be someone crazy enough out there that would do something like that.
Maybe. Did you see the one someone talked to like a GM anonymously, and the GM is like, yeah, no one's sad that we can't have Jonte Porter on our team. It's just like way to dunk on him. Like
the Raptors were like, yeah, we're not going to contest this, whatever.
I mean, what was there to contest? It was pretty obvious.
If it was the GM for the Raptors too that said that.
It probably was. Who else is going to field that question? I feel like any other GM is going to be like, no comment. Like, I don't care.
Brad Stevens is the one who did it. That's like the last guy that I could see actually replying to that message.
I could see the who's the Clippers guy, the Ballmer, the crazy one. He would say something like that.
Pretty cool.
Woo!
Woo! It's my Steve Ballmer impression.
Who's in Philly now?
Daryl Morey.
Oh,
Daryl Morey.
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like Daryl
Morey.
Morey could do it. I
Morey.
definitely think he would have said it. That is something I think he would say if he's like, we're not going to put your name behind it.
he would
Don't
say
ask
that if
him
James.
about Beijing.
He would say that if James Harden was the one betting.
Yeah.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and he cannot be trusted. The
yeah.
NBA.
I love the NBA.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Anyway.
Kenny.
Oh,
What time is it, Kenny? 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 Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Kenny, what time is it?
Never mind. The clock would not move. I couldn't pick it up. It's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Coming in at number 5, we got the Dodgers. The Dodgers, they are off to a pretty slow start. They are the $500 million team. They are only like 11-10 right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're only 11-10. The unbelievable amounts of money being poured into this. The $1 billion team. Meanwhile,
13-11.
13-11. Okay. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Guardians, behind the power of friendship and smiles, I stole this from a tweet, I don't know who from, are 16-6. They're off to a great start. Kenny's Royals aren't even in the lead of the division.
Okay. Coming in at number 4, might as well call Dortmund Peyton because he's a fraud. Dortmund going into extra time against our Bayer Leverkusen Lions, 1-0, looking to spoil a perfect season for Bayer Leverkusen. All we needed was 7 minutes of extra time. Josip Stanisic. I know I butchered it.
Almost.
But a tie game, no loss for Bayer Leverkusen. Dortmund continues to be frauds. 5th in the Bundesliga, by the way.
Well done, Leverkusen. Yeah, they're in a bad season. Dynasty. Number 3 on the fraud rankings. We have a little song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy. When you get some help, that's because LeBron James' teammates are number 3 on the fraud rankings. The Lakers dropping to the Nuggets. My glorious king, LeBron James. He tried his best. He tried to will his team to victory. He can't do this alone at 39 anymore. He needs some help. AD is exempt from this. He had a very good game, but the Lakers are cooked.
Well, he did. AD did have that one clip where he just gets rejected or something, or he doesn't make a basket against Nikola Jokic, and he just puts his hands on his knees while Jokic sprints back on offense and throws it down. But oh boy,
number 2.
Moving on to number 2, the Indiana Pacers. Hey Pacers, did you know Giannis wasn't playing in this game? But Dame Dollar sure was. Damian Lillard, 35 points in the first half. Are you kidding me? That's a 70-point pace.
Full screen me.
No. 70-point pace for all you mathematicians out there. Tyrese Halliburton has just not been the same player. Bucks win this one with ease. It was by 15, and it wasn't even that close.
And coming in at number 1 to finish off the fraud rankings, we had to restart the song. Going back to the world of soccer, number 1 in the fraud rankings is FC Barcelona from Spain. They had their big game against Real Madrid. If you don't know what that is, they're the 2 best teams in Spain. They played each other. Barcelona lost on a very controversial penalty call, but they're in 2nd place. Real Madrid in 1st place. The Spanish club, number 1 frauds. Just to round it out. We didn't have very many frauds this week, so I got to do soccer. Hey, Damien, thank you for giving me hope. And now my camera's I went too close to the camera, and now it doesn't know how to work itself. Anyway, let's finish the show. Peyton, you got we have a ratio. Kenny, you have the ratio? Do I have the ratio?
You have the ratio.
It's yours.
You want me to do the ratio? All right. Ratio of the week. This one comes from, wait, I have to pull it up. I didn't see the name of the account. I sent this a long time ago. Wait for it. Oh, yes. It's actually a lack of community note of the week. It comes from Nathan JH31 on Twitter. He tweeted, "No community notes. It's a real video." It's a quote tweet of the Brewers account who tweeted a steal by Bryce Terang of the Brewers, but they had him flying to second base on a cape, as you can see on the screen. Did not get community noted, which means it's not fake. He clearly knows how to fly and get to the bag. Right. We never had a denial of a community note of the week, so I thought I'd throw a little curveball baseball pun in there. Peyton, please read the joke. I've exhausted my intelligence on this show.
Oh, I got a banger for you guys here. This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, my manager, he told me to have a good day, so I didn't come into work. Oh, so good.
Yeah,
So
you don't
good.
work, Peyton. Get a
So
job.
good. I have a job.
You're right. This podcast, everything else is a
No.
side hustle. Please subscribe to the YouTube. You pay our bills. All right. That'll do it for the show. Friday, I meant to mention this at the end of Mizzou segment. Depending on what news is down the pipeline, I think Friday or Monday, we're going to do a little way too early preview of what we think the rotation will look like for men's basketball. So that'll be a fun show to do. We're going to each bring our starting teams and discuss and debate who we think should what we think Dennis Gates' rotation should look like, because clearly we know as much as he does about basketball. So we're clearly qualified to say anything. Thank you to BetOnline for sponsoring the show. Thank you to Damian Lillard for getting the hope high in my heart before it's ultimately crushed by the Indiana Pacers in the next couple of games. Had to get that in there. And yeah, till then, everyone have a fun and safe week. See you guys Friday.